This summer we have a lot going on with mountain bike races and hiking trails and trail running and all sorts of fun stuff outdoors. One thing I really wanted was a way to cook meals when we're out on the trails. Now, not necessarily on the trail, but like at the parking lot, at the trailhead. And so I've been looking for like a fire pit barbecue of some sort. And today I had a company send me one that we're going to review, and we'll see how good it is. We're going to put it through the full test. I'll give you all the ins and outs, and we'll see if this thing actually is worth any money at all. This box has all of the worst reviews that they've ever received right on the box. The point that they're trying to make is that their consumer is the designer. They're going to respond to all of these types of comments. But for me as a consumer, when I read these, I'm like, oh, I better watch out for that one and that one and that one. So anyway, let's put it together and see if it actually has any of those faults. One thing I like about this is that it's super small. So the point of this is to be able to be a traveling barbecue slash fire pit. So the whole thing is that. It's not super big. Now, full disclosure, they did send this to me for free to review this product as a demo. Okay, so I think the way this goes is that on that side, that on that side. And then these are like the various positions it can be put into.
That's cool.
And did you see any instructions?
Nope.
Does this go down here?
It makes the most sense, yep.
It's supposed to be charcoal or fire, which I kind of like. Let's see if we can try one of these other configurations. Okay, what if we do like that? So I have to say, that went together really easily. And so if this is like something out of the back of your car, I don't see why you can't do that, right? Like just a couple of things. I really like testing in the backyard before I take anything out on the trail, because you never know what it's going to be like in nature. You got to get at least one full shot here in the house to give it a good trial run. So we're going to let all those briquettes heat up.
It's very small. Like, I don't think it takes up much space at all, right?
Yeah. The question I have is, how long is it going to take to cool down? Right? Because sometimes when I'm done, I just want to pack up and go. And having something like this might be more for camping than like an evening dinner on the trail. Charcoal's been going about 10 minutes, 15 minutes maybe, and it's actually pretty hot. Right here in the middle specifically, maybe not so much here on the sides. So we're gonna see if we can squeeze 8 burgers on here. It's gonna be a tight squeeze, but I love how fast it actually heated up. With that big vent on the bottom, there's good airflow. So it's all pretty self-contained. You know, this is a really bad fire season in Idaho, so this is also a really good test here to make sure that we're safe here on the patio. We've got the water just a few feet away, and everything in the backyard's pretty green for now, so that's pretty safe. We have 8, like 1/3 pound burgers on here. One thing to note is that you can't really adjust the height of the coals, so you really have to kind of make sure you've got good even coals. And if you look here, you can see I'm very hot here in the middle and not quite so hot on the sides. So I don't know about how well it's going to cook evenly. A couple other things I'm noticing is the grates. I'm not sure if you can see the grates here. They're all bent up right there in the middle. I'm not sure if that's just because they're super hot right now. Hotter than the other sides. I don't know. Another thing I noticed down here is the fire coating on the cast iron seems to be peeling off already. And that's probably one of my hotter spots. It's the Lifedoo portable stove and fire pit. So when we get done with this round, we'll test out the fire pit function. So far, I gotta say, it's cooking nice and hot. Like, this is fast. This is just as fast as any other charcoal barbecue I've ever had. Man, no complaints there. It only took about 10 minutes to get these burgers all going, and you can see the whole thing is now absolutely hot. I'm a little Frustrated with that. The fire coating definitely didn't last. Those are ready for eating. All in all, I'm really not too disappointed for what it is. I think this stove normally runs about 80 bucks. That might be a little expensive for what it is, but I love having the option of an outdoor fire pit slash barbecue all in one. We do so much camping and other outdoor things that having this option is actually really fun. Normally we would take like a propane kind of Coleman camp stove with us, but this at least gives me the option if I wanted to do something more Dutch oven like or open fire. This is a pretty good option. We finished up with dinner and I took off the grate and just threw on a couple oak logs to see how it handles a nice small fire for maybe roasting some marshmallows at night or whatever it might be. And I gotta say, it handles it really well. I think one thing that I really like is the amount of airflow with the big grate that's at the bottom, right down here in the middle. There's a lot of airflow that comes up from the bottom. It's not a smokeless fire pit by any means. There's definitely a fair amount of smoke, but it is hot. It keeps the fire and the heat off the ground really nicely. So if you're really under some fire restrictions, I think you're gonna be pretty safe with something like this. You still wanna make sure that you're following the local guidelines, but I'm always a little concerned, right? Whenever I'm out in the woods, trying to make sure that I'm not being unsafe and I'm not using some kind of fire technique that I really question. I gotta say with this one, it encourages a small fire. As long as you got a nice log that fits about this size, right? It's only about, oh, I'm gonna guess this is to be about 18 inches or so. I know my foot is about a foot, so I'd say 18 inches is about right. Maybe a little dangerous if you've got young kids. It's gonna be right about their height, so they're gonna wanna touch it. So that's gonna have to be something you're really cautious about if you've got young toddlers that are just walking around. But you're gonna wanna be careful with them around a fire anyway, so just be aware of that. I think the next big question is how long does this take to cool down? And that'll be one of the next things. I'm trying to see if I can, see that's hot. That is hot to the touch. I mean, I can touch it without like frying myself, but obviously the fire is not there, the fire's over here. The thing I gotta talk about that I'm disappointed with is the fire coating, the paint or whatever that they use to coat this. I'm gonna say it's a cast iron of some sort, but it's not cast iron. But it's definitely like a steel. It's heavy. This thing weighs a few pounds, right? But this coating came right off with the charcoal, not even with straight up flames and wood, but just with the charcoal. So I'm afraid that would end up rusting in the long run. So just something to be aware of. This fire has been going for about an hour or two with 2 logs that I put on here, and it's almost burned out completely. I'm pretty satisfied with how this turned out. I pointed out how good that airflow is at the bottom. That really did a nice job of burning out the logs all the way. I'll say that this is still quite hot to the touch. If I really wanted to use this for like just a one evening kind of thing, maybe I'm at the trailhead, maybe I'm just at a picnic spot and I just want to have hamburgers, that might work if I could let this sit for an extra hour after I empty the charcoal out. I could potentially just dump some water on it and try to cool it off that way. But I kind of am of the opinion that this should sit and cool off a little bit longer than what I think. But I gotta say, I like how all the ash and soot just kind of collected down here. I can toss all that out. If I'm at an unimproved campground where I don't have a fire pit and I want to barbecue or have a fire, this is a really cool solution for that particular use case. That is a very specific niche, I understand, but it was a really nice way to have a controlled, even heat cooktop here, and I like that. So guys, I gotta say, if you're interested in something like this, maybe give it a shot. It's not something that I would say is a have to have by any means, but I did like it. I do like having an option like this where I can just have a nice, quick, easy fire with my family. We could roast some marshmallows. So that's it. All of us guys like to have some kind of way to do fire, especially cooking on fire. this is a really nice option to have portable fire, especially natural fire. So portable fire pit barbecue, all in one. Pretty simple to use, easy setup. I don't know how long it's gonna last. Like I said, I'm really not happy with how all the fire coating wore off in the first shot, but I guess time will tell. Anyway, if you guys are interested in this product, I'll leave a link for you down in the doobly-doo. It's definitely not a must-have. So take that with a grain of salt. Hope you guys are having a great summer. This is a cool addition to summer. Yeah, like it's a pretty cool little deal. So there you have it. That is the Lifedoo portable stove campfire pit. Anyway, tell me what you guys think of this particular product. We'll see you guys in the next video.